let me just say that I've read two pieces today from two people that I greatly respect. And I'm not going to say I lost respect for them, Paul Krugman and Ta-Nehisi Coates. I'm just going to say that I no longer care to bite my tongue against people that I admire. And I'm just going to say what I have to say about them. Paul Krugman penned an op-ed. I believe he penned two back to back, Monday and Tuesday, but I'm referring to the one he penned yesterday. An op-ed in the New York Times, essentially saying that Bernie Sanders is wrong on healthcare. And as I began to read it, I powered read it through on the train, just read the highlights and tried to see his argument, right? I want to understand, what is your argument? You are making a bold position against something that is a cornerstone of progressivism, Paul Krugman, right? And Paul Krugman has been somewhat of the Nobel laureate of progressivism. And so I wanted to get the essence of his argument. And the essence of his argument boils down to the same thing Hillary Clinton says, the same thing Hillary Clinton has convinced her supporters of, that this progressive idea is just too difficult and too politically polarizing for us to accomplish. Therefore, we should not try to get Medicare for all. We should not try to get a single payer system. We should just tweak on what we already have. To me, that is a pitiful excuse of leadership from Hillary Clinton. To me, that is pathetic pandering from an intellectual like Paul Krugman, who I have the utmost respect for. But to say that we are in a world where it is so difficult that we should not even try suggests that you want to start our entire conversation from a place that conservatives are not going to accept in the first place, which is a moderate center. You want to start the conversation there and have them pull us further to the right. To be fair, you perhaps don't want that, but you're not admitting to the fact that that's going to be the result of your starting position being down the center. Obamacare is a center-right, just right of center, moderate piece of legislation that still leaves 29 million people uninsured. And if we begin electing, if the justification of the people we elect is that they are not inspired enough to try to fight the battles that we as progressives believe should be fought because they are right and they are just and they are fair and they are equitable, if we begin electing politicians because they are not inspired enough to try the difficult thing, then we are already damned to failure. Which is why, as I read this article, I could not believe that Paul Krugman, Nobel laureate, did not give me an intellectual masterpiece of reasoning to help me to understand why Bernie Sanders would be wrong on healthcare. He did not do that. All he said was, it's too hard and politically impossible. Therefore, let's go for the person who doesn't even want to try. Now, I think I need every person who ever swears that they love Hillary Clinton to actually pause and think about what we're saying here. We are saying that we don't want a leader, a president who aspires to do and fight the fights that need to be fought because they need to be fought and because they should be fought, even if we die trying. We want somebody who's going to do the politically easy thing. I'm not saying that Hillary Clinton fans, you should stop supporting her. What I'm saying is, you should challenge your own candidate and help her to realize that we're not hiring you to do the easy thing. We're hiring you to do some of the most difficult things in this nation that we have not done in hundreds of years. We're not hiring you to be the sipping on tea, sitting underneath the shade tree. Let's just do whatever everyone can get along trying to do. Let's be afraid of the pushback that we would get from Republicans. Let's just go with some triangulation and not even worry about what we really have believed for hundreds of years, which is a true progressive idea. All of the progress. If she's going to go easy on this one, if she's going to take the easy route on this, if she's going to hire all of her hitmen, right? Love Krugman, but in this piece, he's just regurgitating her talking points. Therefore, he is her hitman. If she's going to go and expend all of this energy just to convince us that we should not try, what kind of leader would she be on other progressive issues? So I think personally, they knew these polls were coming out and they opened up the big guns, the progressive big gun on economic issues. Paul Krugman, New York Times, everybody reads them. Everybody respects them. I read them. I respect them. I read them every single Monday. You know, I still respect him, even though this piece is intellectually inept in his catalog of great thought. This piece was depressingly inspirationless. I'm just not with somebody telling me that's going to be too hard. Don't try. That's what I feel about this Paul Krugman piece. Now, so they brought out the big guns against Bernie Sanders in the form of the white progressive economic guru, Paul Krugman, right? I wonder what Robert Reich would say. I wonder if they've already co-opted him. I'm sorry, not co-opted, but I wonder if he's put out a piece against Bernie Sanders. But so now they have Paul Krugman. You don't get bigger than that, you know, in terms of intellectual economic thought, right? So we should just buy what Paul Krugman. This is Paul. Excuse me. This is Paul Krugman. But when an argument is intellectually inept, I don't care if you are Adam freaking Smith, Wealth of Nations. If an argument is weak, it is weak. And Paul Krugman's argument in that article in the New York Times, love him, respect him. I'm going to read his article on Monday. But that argument was weak and not worthy of his intellect. So too is the argument from Ta-Nehisi Coates.